Ever wonder why some of the best neo-noirs from the 90s were buried before they could even be discovered? Could it be that Hollywood deliberately tried to silence them? Films like One False Move and Deep Cover not only defied expectations, they were too daring for their time. In this video, we dive into 10 hidden gems that were unfairly forgotten. Prepare for shocking twists, gritty storytelling, and dark secrets Hollywood didn't want you to see. Following 1998. What if a chance encounter with a stranger could unravel your entire life? Following is Christopher Nolan's low-budget masterpiece, a fractured neo-noir that never lets you settle in. The story follows a young man with a peculiar habit of following people, unraveling a trail of deception, crime, and moral dilemmas that will leave you questioning everything. Nolan, working with a budget of just a few $1,000s, crafted a suspense-filled narrative that takes you deep into the labyrinth of obsession, identity, and the human psyche. Its fractured narrative structure mirrors the disjointed, fragmented lives of its characters, forcing the audience to pick up the pieces. Following doesn't offer easy answers, but rather leaves you with a sense of unease and a thirst for more. This film, often overlooked, is a perfect precursor to Nolan's later works, showcasing his mastery of manipulating time and perspective. For fans of noir, it's an essential, mind-bending piece of cinema that highlights Nolan's early brilliance. The Two Jakes, 1990, sometimes a sequel carries the weight of its predecessor's legacy, and The Two Jakes bears the heavy burden of following Chinatown, one of the greatest films of all time. Jack Nicholson returns as the iconic private detective Jake Gittes in this follow-up that delves even deeper into the complexities of post-war Los Angeles. The film explores the tangled web of corruption and betrayal, but this time it's personal. Gittes is now embroiled in a case that involves his own family. The production, however, faced troubled waters, from behind-the-scenes issues to a delayed release, which caused it to underperform at the box office. Despite these hurdles, The Two Jakes offers a nuanced, if imperfect, look at the effects of history and personal guilt on a man who once thought he could escape both. The film is far from a mere continuation. It's a reflection on how the past, no matter how buried, always resurfaces. In the shadow of its predecessor, it didn't get the recognition it deserved, but it remains a fascinating character study wrapped in the noir tradition. Dead Again, in 1991, what happens when the past refuses to stay buried, haunting the present in ways you never saw coming? Dead Again is Kenneth Branagh's stunning romantic noir thriller that weaves together the themes of reincarnation, mystery, and doomed love. Branagh, who also stars in the film, plays a private investigator hired to uncover the truth behind a woman's amnesia. However, the case takes a dark twist as the woman, played by Emma Thompson, begins to experience vivid memories of a past life that might hold the key to a long unsolved murder. The film plays with the classic noir structure: rain-soaked streets, dark alleys, and morally ambiguous characters, but adds a supernatural layer that elevates the stakes. The visual style is rich with tension, using shadows and clever flashbacks to evoke the creeping sense of a history that refuses to be forgotten. Branagh's direction is both stylish and intellectually engaging, allowing the audience to slowly piece together the puzzle while constantly questioning what's real and what's illusion. Dead Again flirts with the surreal, challenging the traditional boundaries of the genre, making it a hidden gem in the world of 90s neo-noir. Despite being overshadowed by other thrillers of the decade, the film's intricate plot and emotionally charged performances from both Branagh and Thompson have earned it a dedicated cult following. It's a mind-bending journey into the past that'll leave you thinking long after the credits roll. The Hotspot, 1990. Imagine a quiet town where temptation waits at every corner, ready to pull you into a dangerous spiral of greed, passion, and violence. That's the world of The Hotspot, directed by Dennis Hopper and starring Don Johnson in one of his most compelling roles. Set in a small, steamy Texas town, Johnson plays Harry, a man on the run who stumbles into a world where everyone has a secret and none of them are good. The plot centers around a love triangle between Harry, a sultry femme fatale, played by Virginia Madsen, and her manipulative, power-hungry husband, played by Jerry Hall. The film oozes tension and raw sexuality, drawing you into its dangerous world where no one is quite who they seem. Hopper's direction gives the hotspot a languid, atmospheric feel, with moments of intense, slow-burn suspense punctuating the simmering desire between the characters. It's a neo-noir drenched in sweat, where the steamy visuals mirror the moral corruption at the heart of the story. Despite a lackluster box office reception, The Hot Spot is a film that continues to linger in the minds of those who discover it. With its mix of noir, thriller, and eroticism, this movie is a must-see for fans of genre-blending storytelling and unapologetic characters who live on the edge of moral decay. Devil in a Blue Dress, 1995. What if the pursuit of justice in a city built on lies means losing your own soul in the process? Devil in a Blue Dress, starring Denzel Washington as Easy Rawlins, is a neo-noir that doesn't just weave a mystery, it unravels the social fabric of post-World War II Los Angeles. Easy, a black World War II veteran with no real aspirations, finds himself pulled into a complex web of crime, deceit, and betrayal when a mysterious white man, Mr. Albright, played by Tom Sizemore, hires him to find Daphne Monet, a missing woman tied to powerful white elites. As Easy dives deeper into the underbelly of the city, he encounters a cast of morally gray characters, each with their own agenda and secrets. What makes Devil in a Blue Dress stand out in the neo-noir genre is its sharp commentary on race and class, making Easy's journey not just about solving a crime, but also about navigating the racial tensions of 1948 America. Washington's portrayal of Easy is masterful, embodying both the character's internal conflict and his outward determination to survive in a world stacked against him. The film's jazz-infused soundtrack and the smoky, rain-drenched streets of LA enhance the gritty atmosphere, pulling the viewer into a rich historical moment. Despite being overshadowed by other films in the genre, Devil in a Blue Dress is a stunning, intelligent take on noir that highlights the cost of truth in a deeply divided society. L.A. Confidential, 1997. L.A. Confidential stands as one of the most masterfully executed neo-noirs of the 1990s, a film that weaves together a gripping tale of corruption, betrayal, and moral compromise in 1950s Los Angeles. The narrative follows three detectives, Bud White, Russell Crowe, a brutal enforcer with a moral code, Jack Vincennes, Kevin Spacey, a fame-seeking cop with a dark past, and Edmund Exley, Guy Pearce, the idealistic but ambitious officer who wants to clean up the force. Their paths cross while investigating a series of brutal murders, uncovering a conspiracy that touches the city's highest levels of power. What makes L.A. Confidential exceptional is its ability to balance thrilling detective work with rich character development, exploring how each of the detectives grapples with their personal demons while trying to uncover the truth. The film's dark and gritty portrayal of Los Angeles, combined with its impeccable ensemble cast, sets it apart from other noirs. The sharp, witty dialogue and atmospheric cinematography capture the essence of a city teeming with secrets, while the film's unpredictable twists and turns keep the viewer on edge. L.A. Confidential ultimately became a cornerstone of 1990s cinema, winning multiple Oscars and achieving cult status as one of the genre's finest entries. The Last Seduction, 1994. In The Last Seduction, Linda Fiorentino delivers a chilling, unforgettable performance as Bridget Gregory, a femme fatale who manipulates everyone around her with sharp wit and calculated precision. The film begins with Bridget's cunning betrayal of her husband, whom she leaves after embezzling a large sum of money. Seeking escape in a small town, she ensnares a naive man named Mike, Bill Pullman, in her web of deceit, using him as a pawn in a deadly game that leads to murder. The film's atmosphere is dark and oppressive, with Bridget's cool, calculating demeanor contrasting against the small-town backdrop, making the noir themes of manipulation and betrayal feel all the more powerful. The Last Seduction stands out for its unapologetically dark portrayal of a woman in control, flipping traditional gender roles within the genre. Bridget is not merely a seductress, but a deeply complex character whose ambition and ruthless pursuit of power leave a trail of destruction behind her. Though initially overlooked by mainstream audiences, The Last Seduction gained critical acclaim and cult status, especially for its portrayal of a morally ambiguous and highly intelligent anti-heroine. The film is a masterpiece of neo-noir, where tension and manipulation come together in a cold, brilliant execution. After Dark, My Sweet, 1990. What's more dangerous than falling for a beautiful woman with a hidden agenda? After Dark, My Sweet unravels that question with the dark, brooding atmosphere typical of the best noir films. Directed by James Foley, this adaptation of Jim Thompson's novel pulls you into a world of deception, longing, and moral ambiguity. Jason Patric plays a drifter named Kid, a man who's been recently released from a psychiatric hospital. Kid is looking for stability, but instead he finds himself drawn into the dangerous world of a seductive woman named Faye, played by Rachel Ward, and a plan to kidnap a wealthy businessman. The film uses its gritty, oppressive tone to capture the paranoia and dread that run through noir's veins. After Dark, My Sweet isn't just a crime thriller. It's a chilling psychological drama where every action feels weighed down by past trauma and the fear of being trapped in a cycle of moral decay. Patrick's performance as Kid is full of vulnerability and desperation, making it impossible not to sympathize with his plight, even as his choices become more questionable. The film's stark cinematography and haunting score heighten the tension, pulling the audience deeper into its web of lies. Despite its limited recognition at the time, After Dark, My Sweet has since gained a cult following for its compelling characters, dark psychological themes, and the way it breathes life into the noir genre in a modern context. Romeo is Bleeding, 1993. Could a corrupt cop's spiral into moral chaos be more captivating than the crime he's trying to solve? Romeo is Bleeding answers that with a resounding yes, offering one of Gary Oldman's most compelling performances in a film that is as stylish as it is brutal. The film follows Jack Grimaldi, Oldman, a crooked cop who gets caught in a deadly game of lust, crime, and betrayal. When Jack becomes involved with a femme fatale, Mona, played by Lena Olin, things begin to spiral out of control. But Mona isn't just any seductive woman. She's a dangerous, ruthless assassin with plans of her own. The film blends neo-noir with elements of gangster cinema, creating a fast-paced, twist-filled ride through a world of moral decay. What makes Romeo is Bleeding stand out is its exploration of a man's descent into corruption and self-destruction. Jack's character is not a hero by any means, but his complex, tragic journey pulls you in. Oldman's ability to portray a character who is both a victim and a villain gives the film emotional weight, and his performance is both chilling and magnetic. The film's visual style adds another layer, with stark lighting and evocative camera work that heighten the tension throughout. Though Romeo is Bleeding didn't initially set the box office on fire, it has since garnered a loyal following thanks to its sharp dialogue, unforgettable performances, and gritty look at a man who's fighting not just external enemies, but his own demons. One False Move, 1992. What happens when small-town secrets collide with violent truth? One False Move is a neo-noir thriller that takes the seemingly quiet world of rural America and rips it apart with a brutal, heart-pounding story of crime, race, and survival. Co-written by Billy Bob Thornton, this film features a gripping performance by the actor himself, who also co-stars alongside Bill Paxton. The film centers around a small-town sheriff, Dale Paxton, who finds himself caught up in a case involving three violent criminals on the run. The criminals, led by the cunning Ray Thornton, are as dangerous as they are unpredictable, and the town's serene facade is shattered as the investigation unfolds. As the story progresses, the film dives deep into issues of racial tension and the socioeconomic divide, creating a layered narrative that's as much about the personal cost of justice as it is about solving the crime. Paxton's portrayal of Sheriff Dale is both earnest and tragic, and Thornton brings an icy charisma to his role as Ray, making for a tense, unpredictable ride. One False Move doesn't rely on action or spectacle to grab your attention. Instead, it builds its tension through sharp writing, impeccable character development, and a slow burn that leads to an explosive conclusion. Critically acclaimed but largely forgotten by mainstream audiences, this film is an absolute must-see for anyone interested in the power of neo-noir to expose the hidden truths beneath everyday life. These 10 90s neo-noir gems may have been buried, but they're far from forgotten. Whether it's betrayal, moral decay, or haunting secrets, each one offers a ride you won't forget. If you're ready to dive deeper into these dark, twisted worlds, hit like, comment your favorite, and don't forget to subscribe, because the truth is always waiting to be uncovered.